Running is something that I got really, really into when I was in college. I thought like it would help me relieve stress, and because I was really, really stressed out all the time because I was not used to learning how to manage my time in that kind of way where I had this complete freedom. It was almost like meditation for me, where I can go out and just kind of like hit the trail for a little bit and like just listening to good music and being out in the fresh air and like moving my body in a way other than like my arm on my Cintiq monitor. And it really kind of made a huge difference, and I felt so much more clarity in just my thinking. It became this thing where it feels like a huge accomplishment if I go out and I run like 12 miles in a morning or something like that. I spend a lot of time running and a lot of time drawing. Thankfully, both help balance the other out and keep me a sane person. My dog is around me pretty much constantly. He's my personal assistant. He's also a huge distractor, but it's okay. He's cute. I'll keep him around. Art for me started out as like, I want to grow up and I want to work in animation. It's really interesting how your goals start to shift once you hit them. Okay, well, why am I doing this? Like, I hit that goal and it was really satisfying and I'm really, really happy that I did it, but what's next? I guess it's always been more about the narrative content of what I do. When I was younger, I really wanted to be a writer for a long time too. And the farther along I've gotten in my career, the more I've kind of seen that it doesn't have to be one or the other, even though I felt like I had to choose at one point. As you move along, you start to realize, like, whether you work at a big studio or not, you're still an artist and you get to make art no matter what. And the people you work with become much more important than, and the projects you work on become much more important than the actual studio name. You realize that the reason that you became an artist was because you love making things and you love making your own ideas. And it's kind of like climbing a mountain. Like when you start out, you're at the base of the mountain and everything seems so high, and the highest you can see is working for X company, and then you climb a little bit higher and then you get to that side and you realize, oh, there's this whole other part of the mountain that I couldn't see because I was so much farther below. It's not a destination. Like you move along and you learn things and you just keep creating, and you have to remember why you got into it to begin with. I am lucky enough to be in a situation where I get offered like some good opportunities, and I tend to overestimate what I can realistically handle as far as workload goes, and that tends to like make my health suffer, which then is sort of like a circular thing that then makes my art suffer because I'm not taking care of myself and I end up being miserable, and it's this horrible cycle. And I tend to do it to myself like at least once a year, where I like take on like an extra project and it's more than I can handle, but it's hard to say no because you work in an unstable industry and you don't know when you're going to get your next like paycheck sometimes. So I'm like, okay, well, I have to take this and I'll store it away for a rainy day, and this is a good opportunity, hard to say no. And then I'll start on it and then I'll realize it's taking way more time than I thought it would ever possibly take, and I end up being miserable and hating my life and not wanting to make art at all because I'm so burnt out. And I'm like, you know, I gained weight, I'm like not eating healthy, and then it's just this horrible thing where it finishes and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm never gonna do that again. That was horrible. I shouldn't do that to myself. And then, you know, 2 months later, I get an email with like a cool project and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can find time for that. And then it all starts again. Just saying no to things that are going to make me sacrifice my health and sanity. I think that's something I need to just be better about. My name is Betsy Bauer. I'm a visual storyteller, a runner, and I love my dog.